Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Exciting announcement for all of my listeners. I've officially opened my exclusive group, the ProjectME Passive Income Posse, to the public. This group is by application only, so we can keep the group high vibe and spend our time, energy, and expertise only helping those of you who truly want massive success and impact. You get live weekly trainings from me, special guest coaches, and direct access to me and my business partner for all of your questions. To learn more and apply, go to projectmewithtiffany.com, click on Work With Me, and select ProjectME Posse. And of course, any questions, feel free to DM me at ProjectME with Tiffany. Welcome to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast and posse. I am your host, Tiffany, and I am going to teach you today how to get that hard-earned content on Instagram that I know that you put so much time and energy into, how to get that in front of more people's eyes and increase your chances of going viral. And no, it does not matter if you have 400 followers or 400,000 followers. Your chances actually are almost just as good. I don't want to say just as good because when you amass a larger following, you definitely do get a bump in Instagram's algorithm, because what you teach the algorithm is, a lot of people really like his or her stuff. So we'll show it to more people because there's at least, evidence and proof that people love this person and their stuff. So you do get a bump as your following continues to grow, but you still have an amazing chance of going viral, or as I've coined the term, semi-viral. And this is how you blow up your account quickly. So when I started my ProjectME with Tiffany Carter Instagram account, probably around 2 years ago, I really started with a lot of experimenting. I was not super into the platform. I mean, I had a personal Instagram, but I wasn't trying to make money from it. I only posted on it once in a while. I had no reason to. More so, my leads and clients for my other business that I've had for 12 years now, those come through LinkedIn and really mostly referral based at this point, since I've been running that company for a long time. But I knew I knew ProjectME was a personal brand. As I've shared before on the show, I had the idea for 10 freaking years before I started the damn thing. And I really enjoyed Instagram as a platform personally. I felt like my ideal client was living on Instagram. And those are the two things I teach you. Don't just go all in on a platform because you see someone else doing it, or you think it's the right thing to do, or someone told you. It needs to be a platform you actually enjoy and that you think your ideal clients are hanging out on. If your ideal clients are more into blogging, put time and energy into a blog if you love writing and you love blogging. I genuinely spent a lot of time scrolling on Instagram. I found at my worst health point in my life during a health crisis, way prior to starting ProjectME, a solid 2 years prior, I found my health coach through Instagram. So I knew that it worked because I had bought things on Instagram. I also paid for a high-level course through Instagram. So again, I bought something else. I was like, okay, obviously I'm buying stuff off Instagram and stuff that I find really helpful. Of course, there were some things where I was like, okay, I shouldn't have bought this. This was lame. But some great, found some great people, made some great friends, felt really inspired by a lot of, great content. So I knew that this was the platform for me, and that feels good. And obviously, I've proven that to be true, right? So over the 2 years, I don't know my exact follower count now. Am I over 25,000? Hold on, let me look. Let me see where I'm at right now. We're at 26.4 thousand. And it did not take me as long as you guys might tell yourselves it'll take you to reach that coveted 10,000 mark. You don't need to reach 10,000 in order to monetize your account by far. I mean, there's people I work with that have 1,200 followers, and they are sustaining a living on their own without working, at another job or anything like that, just from having that size of following, because they're highly engaged and they're targeted. It truly is quality over quantity. Yes, you do get extra features when you reach 10,000, right? You get that swipe up feature, which is fantastic. And there are certain milestone markers on Instagram. Like when you reach 10,000, yes, the algorithm, as long as you're not buying these followers, and don't think Instagram's stupid. It can definitely, they've gotten more sophisticated. They can tell when you buy shit or you buy your likes. I mean, and really most importantly, your ideal client's not stupid anymore. Like if you aren't like someone who has hundreds of thousands of followers and you go to, and you post a new piece of content and within seconds or within a minute, you have 300 likes, that shit's all fucking paid for and bought. And I get the temptation because it's so frustrating that what you're putting out there isn't growing. You feel like, God, who's going to take me seriously, or who's going to see my value or understand what I have to offer if I don't have that many followers, not that many people are liking my stuff? It's like, that's not really great social proof. I get it. I felt that same way too. And I made a mistake early on. I shared in an episode, probably many dozens of episodes ago, but I shared that I have for, my other company, we do digital marketing for medical professionals, doctors, hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, supplement companies, health companies, that kind of thing. And I have, people on my team and people I contract who grow followings. And so I had that person help me after a certain period of time inside the ProjectME Instagram, because I was getting frustrated too. Like, especially as I started understanding content and hashtags, and it still wasn't growing. Like I might be getting some more likes and comments, but the followers weren't growing. And then I kept seeing all these people whose shit wasn't even that great, and they were getting all these likes and comments and followers. And I was like, what in the hell is going on? I must be missing something. And because I knew it wasn't like my stuff. It wasn't that my stuff was bad or that I didn't have anything to offer. I did bring up some shit in my head, like, well, I don't really look like an influencer. So maybe that's part of it. Like maybe I'm a little too late in the game. Like, I really never looked like an influencer, but I was kind of like, maybe I'm a little late to the game. Maybe I'm somehow missing the boat here. But then I was looking at, then I finally found some other people who didn't look like conventional, Polly the influencers either, who were doing really well. So I was like, all right. But most of those people had been in the space for many years. So it was really a quandary. And I know you guys have, like, that's a fun word, isn't it? It's really a quandary. Like, who the fuck uses that word? But I know you guys have thought the same thing too. Like, what is this code that I need to crack? What's the secret that no one's telling me? And don't worry, I'm going to share a method that I use that works. I don't know if it's some secret. I've never heard anyone else teach it. Maybe because they're afraid if they teach it, everyone will use it. I don't really care. I want you guys to have great success, because the more success you have and the more followers you have, the more your message spreads, the more people you can help and serve. And that's for the greater good of all. And that's what I'm most interested in. So going back to me having someone help with audience growth, and this person ended up, I don't think they bought followers, but it's kind of like a gray area. They got me into all these engagement groups, and I really didn't know what any of this shit was. I mean, that whole thing, that part of it was all new to me, because you don't use shit like that when you're managing corporate social media accounts, especially in like the health medical field anyway. So you don't buy followers. Like, I wasn't familiar with any of that shit. And I didn't know you could buy comments. I didn't know you could buy likes. I really didn't know you could buy all this shit. Views, all of it. And he ended up putting me in engagement groups. And so I started getting, all these likes. I started getting comments, and I was like, wow, people are really loving my stuff. But I was like, but no one's really DMing me, and no one was writing me back. Like, when I would ask them a question, no one wrote me back. And thankfully, at some point, it took me a few months, I realized, okay, that just fed my ego. That didn't feed my pocketbook. That didn't feed my heart or soul. And that wasn't what I was looking for, right? That's like when people are like, I have so many friends, right? It's like, oh, I have a lot of friends. And it might make your ego feel good to say, like, I have a lot of friends. You know, those people who say that, I have a lot of friends. And it's like, right. But how many of those people are your real friends? None. One, right? I'm someone who would rather have like 4 real friends than 50 acquaintances. It like does nothing for me. So I wasn't mad at, this employee of mine, because there's nothing wrong with engagement groups if it's done correctly, but it's just not what I was looking for. I go, so that's not the way. That didn't feel good to me. So I went to Google University, like I'm sure most of you have. I studied, I tried to reverse engineer people's stuff. And I was like, what in the hell? What is it? And I know it can't just be time. Like, I know time is a factor, meaning you have to do the consistency, right? You have to post every single day. When you first start, I tell people you got to post 2 times a day even. And you got to post every single day. You got to go into, stories, yada, yada. I don't think there weren't stories, 2 years ago. I don't believe there were. But you got to keep going. You've got to research the hashtags. You've got to learn your content, learn all the stuff I teach now, right? But even so, we need to have more eyes on our stuff without having to necessarily pay for those eyes. So going semi-viral or viral is the fastest way to grow your audience with actual ideal potential clients, like people who are actually looking for the content that you deliver. They're looking for solutions to problems that you discuss, that you have solutions for. And this is how you do it. So first thing is, you have to have a specific niche. So that's first and foremost. You have to know who your ideal client is, specific niche. You can't just like throw something at the wall and expect it to stick. Like, it's going to cost you a ton more in time, energy, and effort than if you really, really niche. Like, you can't ever niche too much. I know there's like a little bit of a fear there with that. I even had a fear about, oh my God, I don't want to just market to women, because I feel like that's almost discriminatory. And I'm like, I'm all about like, everyone is welcome, right? I don't give a shit who you are, right? Unless you're an asshole. So everyone's welcome. So it felt discriminatory to me. And I think some of you probably feel like that, especially my intuitives, my healers. I know you guys who listen to me are very heart-centered, open-minded people, but you're not discriminating. You just have to focus. It doesn't always have to be on a gender. You don't have to do it that way. whatsoever, depending on what your niche is. But like your color scheme, the words you choose, in my case, I had to pick one. There's also a reason why. I mean, we know I'm obsessed with purple, but there's a reason my brand colors are that purple and gold, because I didn't feel it was, I felt like it was gender neutral. There's no gender identification, so to speak, with the color. So the colors, my brand colors, so that made me feel good, but I still had to pick one. Anyway. So within your niche, I want you to go inside Instagram in the search section with the magnifying glass. And I want you to type in hashtags that people who are your ideal clients would use to search for something or to follow content. So let's say you are someone who teaches, I don't know, manifestation. Okay, like manifestation, law of attraction, stuff like that. So you would do like, look under the hashtag, manifestation, manifesting dreams, manifesting abundance, whatever. I want you to look to see what content pops up in that main, in the first top section, which I believe it shows like 9 or 12 tiles, squares, depending on the size of your phone. And I want you to see what types of content are at the top in the under popular for that hashtag. I want you to study it. This is going to give you a very clear idea of what types of content in your niche is performing extremely well as of today. I want to emphasize as of today. We are always studying and tweaking over here at ProjectME, because what might be trending today or this week can change completely next week. So this is not like a one and done thing. So I want you to go and see what's trending. I want you to click on it. It needs to be, just to verify that it has a shit ton of likes. It has a lot of comments. And I want you to go, okay, what is it about this content? What is it about the topic? How is this connecting with my ideal client? Is it using humor? Is it something inspiring? Are they liking more things that are illustrations? Are they liking infographics? Are they liking short videos more? Are they liking quotes? Are they liking more, really cool, stylish photos? Are they liking scenery? So this is giving you, proof of concept of what your potential ideal clients within your niche are liking. So then what you're going to do is even go a step further, right? Because the image is the first thing, right? That is number one, how you get someone to have, a scroll stop. So that's number one. I also want you to look at things that are doing well down to the part of like the font, the color. I want you to look at that. That doesn't mean, oh, now I have to change my font or anything like that. But is it bold fonts that are doing really well? Or is it like more of the lighter, more feminine looking fonts? Is it more of like handwriting fonts? Is it more of a typewriter looking font? I mean, I want you to get that granular with it. But the most important thing is the content topics and the feelings that content evokes. Is it educational content? Is it enlightening content, inspirational content? Is it you're not alone content? Is it empowering content? Is it entertaining content? That's what I want you to look at. Now you have to look within your own brand, your own style, so it's genuine and true to you, because we want your unique spin on everything. I'm not wanting you to copy someone else's shit. I'm wanting you to be inspired by the topic, the look and feel of what's out there and what's doing well. So now you create your own take on it. So if what you see out there, for example, let me do it in real time. Why not? Right? That's what makes this show different, is like we do shit differently here. Okay, so I'm typing in just manifesting, right? Just like I told you, type in, type in a hashtag inside the search feature in Instagram of what you feel your ideal client would type in, what types of content. So I put in manifesting, right? And now I'm looking, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it shows about, in my phone, the 11 Pro Plus, it shows about 11 squares. So what's doing really well are definitely text-based content, like longer text-based things that I'm seeing. And then some short ones too. Like there's one that says, it's already yours, period. And then it's like, then on the bottom it says like, from the universe. It's something really simple, but that's what's doing well. Let me see the top one. There's one at the top where someone has created, it's a popular account. They've created something called the Daily Vibe. That's kind of cute. But bottom line is it's text-based content. And what's the feeling it evokes? So this one is, I love myself just the way I am. I love every part of me. I accept all my flaws, blah, blah, blah. So this is enlightening content. This is enlightening plus like empowerment, right? It makes someone feel good about themselves. That seems to be a thing. It's already yours, again, from the universe. That's another one that's empowering, right? It's like, oh, hell yes, it is. So now you know that empowering type content and manifesting seems to be working really well, and text-based. So not one of the images, by the way, when I type this in, has a picture of like a Polly the influencer, or someone bouncing around Bali, or someone eating, an acai bowl. It's all text-based and various people's branding, colors, and styles. And I even just kept scrolling down. And I mean, most all of it is all text-based. So now that's what's trending and that's what's working well in that niche. And I don't want you to just look at one hashtag for sure, like go under different ones, like manifest your dreams, and then just scroll and see, what's up there so you have confirmation. So now for your own account, you're going to go, okay, what can I do to make it on brand, but create text-based content. The fonts were kind of all over the place, what I found, but I will say the type was clear, meaning the contrast between the background color and the type of the font was a really strong contrast. So it was like, a light background with a black font, or a black background with a lighter color font. And that I will say generally does perform better. So now you look at, okay, so what can I create that fits this mold, but that's true and on brand to me? You need to create maybe your own mantras, for this niche. You need to create your own power statements in this niche, and then try different things. I also want you to have looked at the hashtags that these viral posts have in them. Now, some really big accounts don't use as many hashtags anymore because they kind of don't really have to. But you want to click on enough and find what are the actual hashtags, like the 30 hashtags. So let me go to this person, this one account who did that daily vibe thing. They're using almost 30. And they have, manifesting, prosperity, friendship quotes, spiritual awakening, positive vibes, namaste, spiritual mantra, gratitude, the secret. So there's no like proprietary, thing on hashtags. I want you to use those hashtags. You don't need to use them all if it doesn't make sense with your account, but you see a pattern with hashtags and that's getting these people on this search page. Well, I want you to take the guesswork out and use those damn hashtags. But again, you have to test it. I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, just copy their hashtags and you're golden. No, it's not as simple as that. Okay, you have to test it and see if that works, and you have to tweak the hashtags. But this gives you a really good idea that these hashtags are working in this niche because they're showing up. but I still want you to click on more than one post, right? So I just went to the one next to it, and they have a lot of different hashtags: self-discovery, ascension, but they also have raise your vibration, third eye, awakened. So you can get an idea of other hashtags to put in there. And now you have taken a lot of the guesswork out on what will connect, because there's already actual, like, quantifiable proof of what is doing well. And if you're like, oh, well, Tiffany, like, I didn't really want to have a bunch of, text-based stuff in my feed, like that, that just doesn't feel good to me. Well, I got to say this, if you want to have a jobby, an expensive hobby, you post whatever the fuck you want. But if you want to have a business, and that's what's working, and that's what your ideal clients are resonating with and connecting with, in order for you to get a hold of them and help and inspire them the best that you can in order to make money, you need to find a way in this case, for that text-based content to be on brand and feel good for you. Period. End of story. Otherwise, you start going down this whole path of that doesn't feel aligned. And well, I got to tell you, unless it's something, egregious and it's about your core principles and core values, right? The package your content is in, you need to listen to your people. Otherwise, you're self-sabotaging. It's kind of like if you have a product and you have the packaging for a product, and these big companies, like I work with a lot of dermatology companies, skincare companies, and they do market research, and they're, either their current client base, customer base, or potential client base, they're like, this package doesn't feel good to me. It's not pretty. It doesn't seem luxurious. It's cumbersome. It's too much packaging. I feel guilty. It's a waste to the environment. If that company who's spending a fortune on packaging and is wanting to make money goes, oh, well, we really like this. It's on brand. It feels good to us, so we're just going to do it. And then it flops. That's fucking dumb. You need to base it off your people. What do they need and want to consume, whether it is free or they're paying for it? It's no different when it comes to your Instagram posts. So the other trick is this. You know how you'll see certain phrases or certain memes or stuff like that are making the rounds on Instagram? For example, there was one recently. I think it came from Brene Brown, but if I could be mistaken, but it was like, you can do hard things, right? So that doesn't mean, as long as you're not like catching that, that trend, right? That trend at the end where it's old news, but you see, you can do hard things. You're seeing stuff like that. You can still do that. That's not copying. You do your own take on it. So maybe how you talk would be, sis, you can do hard things. Or girl, you can do hard things. Or repeat after me, I can do hard things, right? Like, do a twist off something that's, doing really well and trending out there, and you use the right hashtags, you likely are going to go semi-viral. Go to my Instagram, you guys, at ProjectME with Tiffany, and you're going to see examples of all of this. Like, yes, because I have an actual team now and I have a graphic designer, I want to be the person who has the originating viral content where other people share my content, repost it, use it, in their feed and tag me. So there's like some certain formats I use that we test, but we test everything. You'll see we have all different shades of purple, some purpley pink, some yellow. We'll test different fonts, different setups to see what's working the best. But I'm trying to look through here on something that maybe was out there that I did my own take on. Oh, okay, here's one. So I have a graphic tile that says, if you work smart and serve people, you will win. Well, where that came from, and that's original from me, but you know how it's like, if you work smart, not hard, right? or work smarter, not harder. So I was, that's been around for quite some time, but I started seeing work smarter, not harder, and stuff like that out there. And I didn't want to put that as my graphic post. I could, and there's no one to quote for something like that because who the hell knows who said it. But I didn't want to put that because that goes against that breaks my hashtag basic rule. That shit's basic. You have to have a basic meter. That's very basic, right? Like work smarter, not harder. I mean, we've heard that for years. So don't be posting shit like that. That's not going to work. You have to then ask yourself, how can I put my own unique twist on this? Because I do believe work smarter, not harder. But I know my ideal client needs to hear this message. That message is going to alleviate stress for them, make them feel good. It's going to resonate. But how can I say it in a way that's fresh, unique, and on brand for me? So then I came up with, if you work smart and serve people, you will win. Do you guys see what I'm saying here? If you are loving these kind of episodes where I break it down and literally teach you in a mini training how to do the damn thing, stuff that like you may have tried to Google in some way and you never get the answer to, I need you to do two things. One, take a screenshot and share this episode in your Instagram stories and tag me at ProjectME with Tiffany. Two is leave a 5-star written iTunes review and make sure you put your name or your Instagram handle in the iTunes review. And if you DM me letting me know it is there, I will treat you to a coffee, drink, or a smoothie of your choice. Is a way to say thank you for taking the 90 seconds for leaving a review. That's how we keep the show growing and going. And that's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for you to pay for all this incredible value, but I am asking you to do that. And please don't blow it off. I know you mean well and you're like, I'll do it later, and you never do. Just do it now if you really value the show. I'd appreciate it. So I'm excited to see you guys putting together your viral content. It's not as hard as you've maybe made it up to be in your mind. I wanted to demystify that for you. That's part of my job here as your coach. And here's the other thing I want to say, because I know some of you are going to ask me or DM me, which is fine. I love answering all your follow-up questions to the show, my DMs. That's why I spend 2 hours every single day, 7 days a week inside my DMs. Is how do I know if I've gone semi-viral or viral? And how do you know? You know, because all of a sudden, most all your posts were getting, 47 likes and 80% of them are from people you know. And all of a sudden now you have 399 and you have a shit ton of shares, because we want the shares, not just the likes. We want the shares. We want the follows. We want the DMs. So that's how you'll be able to tell. Like mine are going, I call them semi-viral. Like true viral in my mind is, thousands and thousands and thousands of thousands. I think I've had 2 do that. One was my singing toilet paper. Thank you. I know, like sometimes it's shit that's so stupid that resonates. The latest one that went semi-viral, actually it was not that long ago. I did 6 things your inner child needs from you. I actually did not expect this to go semi-viral. But that's why you test things, right? I didn't know if that topic was a little too heavy for you guys, or if it was of interest, or if it was a little too, feelings based. But so far it has 753 likes. The comments there aren't as many comments. There's 47 comments, but what's most important to me are the shares. So we're at over 100 shares and 217 saves so far. So that's semi-viral, because that's doubling what I normally get, right? That's more than doubling what I normally get on one of my standard posts. Because remember, good engagement on an Instagram post is only about 4% of your audience. Like 4%, if, with the influencer campaigns we do in my other company, if someone has a 4% engagement rate, it's like, that's solid. So it's not even shocking for you to have 3%. Now, when you have a really small account, you could have even a 50% engagement rate. Because if you only have 200 people following you, most people know you. And then 50% of them are liking and commenting on your stuff, right? But I'm talking as you grow, your engagement rate goes down. So on a really big account, it's not even unusual. I'm talking when people are like, 500,000, a million. It's not unusual for someone to have a 3% engagement rate. So I want you to keep that in mind, that when something you've really hit on something is when it is doubling, tripling your standard number of likes, shares, that kind of thing. That's how you know you've hit a button. And what's great is you have to be willing to experiment, which sometimes your shit's going to flop. Okay. I've had plenty of posts flop, ones that I was shocked about, where I was like, really? I really thought that was going to go viral. Like, one as an example, of course, I just lost it, is what seems to be going semi-viral for my niche are me doing my power statements, but they can't be basic. They've got to really be fucking good, and they've got to be mine, not like regurgitated stuff. And this one is, and it looks great. It really pops. And it's, if you never go for it, you'll never get it. Very simple, but those kind of simple power ones empowerment ones were doing really well. And it got my standard. I mean, I still got my, standard number of, good engagement rate. But it did not, it got, for my size audience, it got 382 likes, 50 comments, 16 shares, 16 saves. Do you see the difference? Versus the one I said that recently went viral, had over 100 shares and has, as of right now, 217 saves and 753 likes. So that's how you can tell when something goes semi-viral or viral. A friend of mine in the online coaching space, she had one recently. I think it was, I don't know, might have been a couple months ago. But she has an audience that, she's very strong in her faith like I am, but hers is much more of a part, even more of a part of her brand. She has a lot of faith-based entrepreneurs, faith-based women. She uses, she references a lot of God quotes, that kind of thing. God quotes, that sounds really weird, but you know what I mean. God quotes, like, do we quote God? Maybe the Bible? Oh my God, I'm such a weirdo. She did a really cool, her own style of a post, and I think it's up to over 20,000 likes now and thousands and thousands of shares, and her audience is about 20,000. So that's, that is true going viral. And that was something she wasn't expecting to go viral either. My singing toilet paper that I did like right when we were in quarantine life, because remember, it was, it was timely. My audience loves humor and loves how you guys love how whack I am. We're at, oh no, it's not as high as I thought. I thought we're at like 18,000 views. It says 8,400 views, but the amount of shares is insane. There's a couple thousand shares and 481 saves. And it's reached so far over 26,000 people. That's where I thought that's still, believe me, that's still a big number for my account. Now, if you go talk to one of my friends who has, over 300,000 followers, real followers, not fake ones, for her account, that might not be that big. It's all relative to the size of your account, your average engagement rate. You see what I'm saying? So for your account, you getting 300 likes and 30 shares and 45 saves, that might be semi-viral. So I'm going to want you to, experiment, be willing to have a dud out there. If you're not willing to have a crap post, a dud, something that doesn't connect, you're never going to be able to get the ones that really do connect. You have to really go all in with it. You know how I say like toe dipping doesn't work in entrepreneurship? It doesn't work with content either. You've got to be bold with it and go with it, or you're never going to get something that can really, really connect and go semi-viral or viral. Now, something I'm going to give you guys for free, I will start charging for this soon because it costs me money to put it together because I partnered with a graphic designer. But I have customized social media graphics for you that are not hashtag basic, that you have full permission to use on any of your social media channels. I have them sized for Instagram feed, sized for Instagram stories, sized for Facebook, sized for LinkedIn, for Pinterest, for Twitter. There's 90 of them in there, and I'm giving them to you for free. So these were designed by a graphic designer, but the actual statements, wording, quotes, images, all of that I reviewed, I approved, I was part of, and these are working really, really well for the people who are using them. So they're free, but they're not going to be free for long. So go to projectmewithtiffany.com/free graphics. projectmewithtiffany.com/free graphics. If you're multitasking, like so many of you probably are, working out, you know, all the things that you guys do, working out, laundry, pooping, who knows? I want you to then, you can DM me and say, hey, I couldn't remember what you said about where to get the free graphics. Can I have the link? But again, it's projectmewithtiffany.com/free graphics. Don't wait on grabbing those. Like I said, right now we are about to, and really soon here, launch my online store, my online shop of TIFF approved products. And I will be putting that in there, and it will only be available for purchase. So make sure you go and grab that. Excited for you guys to start getting that viral content going, getting more eyes on your stuff. And hey, this is free. Yeah, you have to use your energy, you have to use your brain, your creativity, but you're not paying for ads to get all this stuff. And I know it's not too late. And yeah, it is noisy as fuck out there in Instagram land. But I'm telling you, this works, or I wouldn't have wasted my time or your precious time telling you exactly how to do the damn thing and take the guesswork out of all of it. All right, wishing you guys great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.